nini.
David Kongo Wakaba, do swear that the information that I shall give before this committee shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help me God.
Okay, thank you. Now, I would like to inform you that anything that you are going to state or anything documented that you are going to table or anything that is going to happen here is being recorded. So I would like you to state something that you can remember it maybe tomorrow or the other day. And I want you to feel to relax. We are going to ask you a question that is related to the position that you applied, and I think you are most welcome. And before we continue, and also I would like to inform you that this vetting process is aired and to our county and even to the whole country. So, and before we continue, I would like to introduce my members, and I'm the chairman of this committee, livestock, agriculture, livestock, and fishery, and we are 9 members, and now we will proceed this way.
Honorable Samuel Madhuwainaina, and also representative of people of Merangini and a member of this committee.
Benson Kiarie, a member of this committee.
Catherine Nyawira, ni eneo bunge la Nyandarua na mimi chama wa hii kamati.
Caroline Jarara, I'm a member of this committee, specially elected from Wero Ward.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon,
You're most welcome.
Thank you.
My name is Honorable Sasha Wamai, specially elected member from Naragwa constituency and a member of this committee.
Okay, thank you, honorable members. The other one are on the way coming, and now I will allow our secretariat to introduce themselves.
Thank you, Chair, and through the Chair, I am Wiragu Joseph. I'm clerk assistant, and I'm I'm the secretary to this committee.
My name is Moses Kenywa, a legal counsel.
Afternoon.
Good afternoon.
My name is David Gitao, a research officer.
My name is Hannah Wamboko. I'm a research intern.
My name is Nicholas Ndeithi, Hansard officer.
Lewis Cariro is my name, the photojournalist.
Peter Moya, Sergeant at Arms.
Thank you, Secretariat Department, for your introduction. Now, I would like to ask you, David Kongo Wakaba, which position did you apply?
Chief Officer Agriculture and Chief Officer Livestock and Fisheries.
So you applied both?
Yes.
Okay. Now I would like to And now, you are here for vetting. Are you ready for vetting?
Yes, I am.
Which position?
Chief Officer, Agriculture.
Only.
That is what I was invited for.
Okay.
According to what was circulated in the newspaper. I did not see anything mentioning livestock and fisheries.
Okay, thank you. Now I will give you a time to introduce yourself, at least 5 minutes. Yourself, your experience, academic, and anything else.
Okay, my name once again is David Kongo Wakaba. I'm 56 years old. I started my primary school in a small primary school called Nyaitoga Primary School, Kajuri Ward, Olkalau County, Nyandarua, back in 1973. I graduated from primary school in 1979, distinction of 35 points. From there I proceeded to Nyeri National School called Kagumo High School, from Form 1 to Form 6. From Form 6 I went to NYS. That time it was mandatory to go to an NYS for a few months. Then I proceeded to University of Nairobi, where I did my BSc in Food Science and Technology from 1987 to 1990. From there, in 1990 I was employed in Joro Canning Factory. That's a company in Nakuru that deals with fruits and vegetables. That is from 1990 to 1997. 97 to 98, I went to a company in Timau, still doing fruits and vegetables for export, international, called Homegrown International. That is from 1999 to 2006. I was a senior manager. From there I went to another company, still doing fruits and vegetables, called Greenland Agro Producers. That is 2006 to 2009. From there I joined Premier Food Industries, which is a company owned by the Aga Khan Group. That is a IPS, the branch of manufacturing. Aga Khan Group has a branch of manufacturing called IPS. Up to 2012. From 2012, I was seconded to Mombasa, still an Aga Khan Group company that is involved in manufacturing of fruit juices and value addition and stuff like that. After that, I left in 2015. Since 2015, I've been involved in consultancy work in farming, company startups, that is food company startups. And I'm a director in one of my farms in Shamuka, Kajuri Ward, called Shamuka Orchards. And that's what I'm doing up to now. That is consultancy in startups and food management systems. And I'm also a farmer. In the process, I've undergone various courses and small courses involving my line of duty. So you'll see, as per my CVs, a few documents here and there.
Is it?
Yes, I am through.
Having introduced yourself, now I would like you to table the relevant document that you are supposed to table, and we are going to start with your ID. I think you have ID.
Yes, I have an ID.
Academic certificates.
Yes, I have them.
Tax compliance certificate.
Yes, I have.
HERB clearance certificate.
Yes.
DCI clearance certificate.
DC. Oh, okay. Yes, I have.
Okay. EACC.
Yes.
And CRB.
Yes.
And the clearance from professional bodies.
Yeah, I don't have such.
Okay.
Yes.
And make sure you are tabling original.
Yes, all these are original documents.
Okay, clerk will continue to verify whether they are original. Okay, thank you. Now,
Yes.
there was a form that you was to fill, that is questionnaire form.
Yes.
And as a committee, when we were going through, we realized that you did not fill number 8, 18, and 19A and B. And number 18, you are supposed to list all professional, business, and that number 18, you did not fill it. Why?
I think there's a confusion. I presented on 2 days ago a form that is filled, that has those, that is duly filled, that has those places filled. I don't know which form you have.
I think you have the clerk. I think you did not fill it. It was not, it is blank.
Number 18 has, this is what number, the format that can I be able to know which form that I presented? Because the form has professional, number 18 is professional association. I have filled Society of Crop Agribusiness Advisors. I've also filled Cool Pastures Organic Farming, Nyaitoga Dairy Primary Farmers Organization Union, and Olchaki Marketing Cooperative Society Limited.
Which number are you referring? I am referring number 18, not 17.
Number 17, according to my farm, is honors and awards. I don't have any of such. But number 18, is it blank?
Yeah. On membership?
Yes.
Have you answered?
Maybe there was a typo, because what I have is
Okay.
filled in.
I agreed.
And I would really like to see the one that I presented.
But can you tell us on membership?
Yes, I'm a member of about 4 organizations. One is national. It's called the Society of Agribusiness Advisors of Kenya, SOCA. I've been a member for quite a long time. It deals with agribusiness advisors, and it comprises all the professionals that I've worked with, that I've known over my long duration, over 25 years. We have annual meetings, we have trainings, and we appear once in a while in various fora which involves agribusiness advice. I'm also a member of in my village there's a group that is called Cool Pastures Organic Farming Organization. I'm actually the chairman. We're involved in teaching farmers climate smart agriculture. I'm also a member of Olchaki. Olchaki is, I do pyrethrum, so Olchaki is one of the marketing membership groups that is involved in rolling out pyrethrum growing across Kanjuri ward. It is actually a privately owned company. I'm also a member of Nyaitoga Dairy Farmers Cooperative, where I supply some milk.
Thank you. Have you ever published in writing?
No.
Okay. I think up to that, I will allow now honorable members to chip in and ask any question you have.
Thank you, Chair. Mine are very simple. Maybe as you, if you are given that opportunity to serve as the accounting officer of agriculture, we would like as a committee to know your leadership styles.
My leadership style is pragmatic leadership. I also do delegating. I also guide in my leadership, but mainly I'm a servant leader. I sort of try to humble myself and listen to what my people want to do. I also do delegation, and that's the kind of leadership I practice.
Thank you. Like to know, do you think working with the other departments is important to you?
Yes, it is very important because, as you realize, agriculture cuts across all departments: cooperative, land, environment. So in my long experience, I've learned to work and to correlate with so many departments. So I know it will be my duty to, if I'm successful, to actually cooperate and liaise with so many other interlinked departments as far as my job is concerned. Oh. Well, let me give you an example. For instance, climate smart agriculture. I have to work in liaison with the person who is involved in the environment when it comes to conservation, planting of trees. There's no way I'll go alone. I'll have to ask what are the programs. When it comes to water harvesting, I'll have to liaise with the person who is in charge of water and irrigation. And we work together alongside, because I cannot go doing irrigation without involving the Department of Water. That is the kind of liaison I'm talking about.
Having a wealth of experience in agriculture,
yes,
and I understand that you have applied for the board.
Yes.
I have another question, cutting on livestock.
Welcome.
Maybe I would like, and maybe you explain to you give us your view on the change of maybe livestock farming in Nyandarua. Do you think have Nyandarua vested in pig farming, and what is your view
on pig farming? Yeah. Okay, first of all, let me talk about Nyandarua livestock in general, then I'll delve into fish farming. Apart from crop production, livestock is second, and it's very important because most of the farmers and most of the value addition that is being done is in livestock sector, that is dairy. Dairy covers quite a lot. Almost every household has either a cow or a goat or several of them. There are a few commercial farms, and the value addition that probably needs to be done will mostly cover dairy farming in terms of milk processing, milk cooling, yogurt and stuff like that. So yes, livestock is very important. In the arid areas and semi-arid areas like Daragwa, it is my vision that there's a lot that needs to be done in terms of establishing feedlots and growing the right drought-resistant crops like sorghum, millet and stuff like that, and doing what is called preservation of forage, that is hay and silage and stuff like that. So yes, livestock is important. As far as pig farming is concerned, I have not seen in my 7 years of farming, I have not seen quite a lot that is being done about pig farming. Probably the reason being that we don't have a big culture of eating pork. But why not? We can introduce, Nyandarua can be very good for pig farming because there's a lot of crop residues and that can be used as feeding material for pigs. And with contracts with people like Farmers Choice, there's no reason why we cannot do pig production and link the pig production with marketing and groups like Farmers Choice. We have the climate, we have the vegetation, we have the forage, and we have everything.
Chair, I'm done, and I wish you all the best.
Thank you. Hi. Good afternoon to you, sir.
I have 5 questions, which I will ask you simultaneously. Maybe you can put them down. Question number 1. agriculture mechanization plays a role in increasing efficiency and effectiveness utilization of the productive resources. So now I would want to know, what is your view on the state of agriculture mechanization services, AMS, in our county? Question number 2, according to you, what are the functions of a chief officer? Question number 3, chief officer is the accounting authority of a department. So can you demonstrate your accounting ability? I want to know that. Question number 4, according to your own perspective, in terms of functionality, what is the difference between a CECM functions and a CEO function? I want to know differences according to you. And number 5, and finally, the county is in the process of introducing milk cess. That was, and the finance bill was just passed last week. So I want to know, you mentioned you are a member of Nyaituga dairy farming. So would that bring a conflict of interest? And if no or yes, if no, how do you think the county government can introduce milk cess to the farmers in a way that it will not cause uproar? Thank you.
Thank you so much, through the chair. Let me delve into the first question, mechanization. Yes, one of the reasons why there is low productivity in Nyandarua as far as agriculture is concerned, and even livestock, is low mechanization. That is among so many other factors. The reason why there is low mechanization, there are several. There are very many reasons why there is low mechanization. One of them is lack of training, lack of awareness of existence of such machinery, maybe be it heavy machinery or light machinery. There's lack of funding, and there are several solutions to that particular problem. I happen to belong to an organization called Machinery Rings. I'm not a member, a registered member, but I'm involved in what they are doing. In Kajure World, they are very big. I'm sure most of you have heard of Machinery Ring. Machinery Ring is a German-based organization that is involved in supplying light machineries to organized groups of farmers. I'm talking of machines like balers, shellers, chaff cutters, even tractors, chisel plowing. And what happens is that you form yourself into a group of about 200 farmers, and then they can hire the machinery to you, and it goes around at a very good rate. That is an easy way of mechanization, and I'm sure, I know, Nyandarua County has such a system, but it has not been rolled. Maybe it has not been rolled off so quickly like it happens in the private practice. But I'm aware there are such plans, and if I go in, if I'm successful, that is one of the things I would like to push. It's about mechanization, because it's very important. It is quite important to mechanize our agriculture in a view to increasing productivity. Second question is the functions of the chief officer. The chief officer, as you partly answered the question when you're asking the second question, the third question, is the accounting officer. That involves running the day-to-day administrative functions in the department. That is one of them. It is very bold. First of all, answerable to or responsible to the CEC in that department. Then running the day-to-day administrative activities, formulating and sometimes improving on policies that and programs, maybe yearly programs that are there in the sector or in the department. developing and maybe reviewing and looking at budgets, yearly programs that exist, or formulating the ones that are not there. Also in charge of resources, probably the departmental resources, looking at after the resources of the department, ensuring that there is no misuse. I'll also be in charge of upholding the moral and the ethics of the department in terms of as far as maybe Chapter 10 and Section 232 is concerned, in terms of ethical behavior, integrity, transparency, things like that. And as it states in the work description, chief officer, I can be transferred to any other department at the will of maybe the bosses. And yes, that's about it. And any other duty that my bosses may require me to carry on. The third question, the difference between CECM and CEO. First of all, the CECM is my boss, so I'm answerable to him or her. Secondly, my work is mainly to implement the policies. I may be called upon from time to time maybe to assist in developing a policy, but mainly my work is to implement policies and budgets and programs that are there already in the sector. The final question, Milk says, yes, this is the elephant in the room. It is something that represents a conflict of interest because I'm a milk supplier, so and cess is a very emotive subject as far as farmers are concerned. At the same time, the government is looking for revenue, so that is where there's a bit of conflict. And what is needed is for stakeholders to sit together, to sit down, and we train farmers and we sensitize them and impress upon the fact that much as we'll put in infrastructure for them to deliver their milk, for instance, cold stores, or for them to cool their milk, or coolers, we'll still need revenue to carry on these services, that is service delivery. And these services, we need money. So this is something that we need to do, public participation and sensitization. And if a decision that is made will represent a conflict of interest where I'm involved, and maybe I feel that it is directly clashing with my interest, of course I'll just move myself slightly away from that decision and let the person be who have no conflict of interest continue with that decision. Yes, I think that's about it.
Sean, on the accounting ability.
Oh, accounting ability. Yes, I've been involved in budget preparations. When I was the operations manager, you'll see from my CVs at the time I was in Aga Khan Group. I was involved in all those, so I had responsibility right from procurement to accounting to budget presentations to the board. So these are things that I'm familiar with. Maybe I need more retraining. It's probably done a little bit different here. Maybe I need a bit of induction. But yes, it's not something that is new to me. Asante.
David, karibu katika hichi kikao.
Asante.
Nitakuuliza maswali matatu mawili hivi. Nikiangalia makaratasi zako.
Yes.
Kutoka, ulisema ulikuwa umesomea Nyaitoga.
Yes, Nyaitoga Primary School.
Na kutoka hapo umetozwa shahada mpaka ukafika pale chuo kikuu cha Nairobi.
Ni ukweli.
Na katika hiyo mambo yote nimeona umefanya kazi kwa kampuni za kibinafsi tena
yes.
za kimataifa.
Yes.
Sijui kwa nini ukafikiria uje ufanye kazi katika serikali na serikali ya gatuzi.
Hiyo swali nitaijibu. Okay, mimi Kiswahili yangu si mzuri sana lakini acha nijaribu.
You have leave it to answer in English. Don't feel.
Okay, fine. Let me try in Kiswahili if I get stuck. kawaida yangu, okay, nimefanya kazi na international bodies kwa muda mrefu, and my passion has always been to impart the knowledge I have to my county people. And that is the reason, even when I was there, I was trying to practice what I was learning. Because even when I was in export of French beans, I organized a group of farmers in my area, and we were actually selling French beans to the company that I was working in, and we were able to establish the standards, and we were able to export. So yes, the desire to come and work in the county is to impart the knowledge that I've learned over time into the county, into my countrymen, because and it's driven by my love for my countrymen and my countrywomen and county people.
Swala la pili ni kuhusu soko na changamoto ya wakulima huwa soko. Sasa utakuwa ukishikilia kata yote ya Nyandarua.
Yes.
Na changamoto kubwa ya wakulima wote wa uvuvi, wote wa mifugo na hata mimea. Wanaweza lima lakini hawana soko. Mimi naomba na ningetaka pia utueleze vile utashikilia hao wengine isipokuwa hao wa Kanjwere Ward, vile utakuwa ukienda Ndaragwa, Oljororok, pande za Jambini kuwasaidia soko.
Yes. Okay. That's it. Can I answer?
Yes.
Okay, hiyo hiyo siwezi rudisha na Kiswahili ni ngumu kidogo. Market is also a very big challenge, because much as we want to improve productivity, the farmers feel very discouraged when they cannot be able to market their produce. And it is very sad that sometimes the press also doesn't help when they flash pictures of farmers pouring milk on the streets in Nyandarua, so everybody kind of feels that there is excess, there's excess production. And it's not excess, it's simply because of lack of marketing. For instance, like in Kanjwere, where I come from, sometimes there's an excess of potatoes, and then in Ndaragwa you'll hear there's famine. So these are the kind of things that we need to look at. So straight to marketing, which is very crucial. Let me give an example. There's a company called Sereni. Sereni is a big company that is doing French fries. People call them chips, and they have contracted a lot of farmers in Nyandarua. I'm sure most of you have heard about them. They are not so big, but they are becoming big. So what they do is that they contract farmers, and you do good farming practices, good agriculture practices, and then they are able to take your produce, and they are able to cool it, and they are able to sell it to restaurants. Some of them are high-end restaurants. So these are the people we want to rope in, and I'm happy to see, because I follow very closely what the government is doing, Nyandarua government, through His Excellency Dr. Badilisha. Recently I saw they introduced a company called Simplifying. Simplifying is doing what Sereni is doing, but on a bigger scale, because it's international. So these are the kind of people that we want to link the farmers of Nyandarua to. We want to rope them in. There are so many other, I have a list of so many other international bodies that are knocking their doors. They want to come in. There is Slow Food, there is GIZ have also a program where they can, there's also Grow Africa already in Mirangine. I don't know whether there's someone from Mirangine here. There's a company called Silverline. These are a group of farmers that are actually, that have been linked right from potato farming into a company called McFry's that is contracting them to buy potatoes. So these are the kind of things that we can link and link the farmer into the market. Even when it comes to fresh vegetables, peas, garden peas, snow peas, cabbages, carrots, these are products that are very easy to sell. If we establish markets, mini markets, not just the Sokompia, we have several Sokompias across the wards or across the sub-counties or the counties. This is something that can be done with not so much money as compared to things like infrastructure. They don't need a lot of investment. Secondly, we can take that concept of fresh market further. There's an example that I'll give. Someone who's gone to Naivasha, there's a company called Vasha Greens. Vasha Greens is already contracting farmers in I think Magumu. They are going a step further, not just the fresh market. They have some cold stores, and then they follow up how you are doing your farming. That's something that we call traceability. And then through traceability, they encourage you to use the right pesticide, the right way of farming, you know, the right crop rotation, the right fertilization of crops, fertilizing of crops. So that product is clean. Then they cool it and pack it very well, and they sell the vegetables to high-end supermarkets. That is what they are doing. Although they are funded by the World Bank, I don't see the reason why we can not replicate the same thing in Olkalao, in Mairoinya, in Engineer. We can have a replica of Vasha Greens. Vasha Greens is already serving 3 counties, Narok, Nakuru, and Nyandarua. We can have such a company, and it's run by the youth, because the youth are very much interested in those high-tech kind of marketing and selling. So yes, livestock, we need to establish feedlots, we need to do slaughtering, and we need to link the market with people like AMC, pigs, Farmer's Choice. That is the kind of vision that I have for Nyandarua. And this is not just hot air. This is something that I can be able to make a call and call the MD of Sereni, for instance, is my friend. Okay, I don't know anyone in Simplifying, but I saw that they came around and they look very enthusiastic, although they are international. These are things that I intend to do. Sorry, that one has taken a bit of time.
Sawa, kupitia mwenyekiti nitakuuliza swali langu la mwisho.
Okay.
Kuna viumbe vilivyobadilishwa vinasaba, GMOs, ili kuongeza mazao na malisho kwa Wakenya. Sijui mtazamo wako uko vipi kuhusu hizo viumbe?
Okay, thank you very much. For the first time, I've known what GMO is called in Kiswahili. Asante sana mheshimiwa. My view on GMO is simple and straightforward. There is nothing wrong with GMO as long as we follow the right procedures, there are the right checks and balances, and as long as the regulating bodies that are given the work of regulating what comes in, they do their work. They don't do shoddy work, because GMO, the right GMO is mainly 99% is a good thing, because they introduce genes that, for instance, are pest resistant, they're high yielding. That is all we are looking for to increase productivity. So if a GMO sorghum, for instance, comes in as a seed and it cannot get attacked by diseases, it has a gene that makes it water tolerant. What is wrong with that GMO? What is not right, and what is mainly in form of a rumor, is that the GMO will alter the genetic makeup of a human being. That one, I'm here to come across it, and it's upon the regulatory bodies to ensure such kind of bad genes do not enter into our market. But 99% of GMOs is good. These other stuff is just a sensitization by the press and hype. GMO is good. Yes, and it can contribute to our increase in productivity, disease resistance, drought resistance, and it's good. Generally, it's good. I have no problem with it.
Okay. Bwana David, I have a few questions for you.
Welcome.
I don't know whether you're going to light somewhere or I read one by one.
Let's go one by one.
Okay. I would like to know how will you promote post-harvest handling for reduction of produce losses from pests and diseases?
That's one question.
Yes, that one question. Also would like to know what plans do you have to convert Nyandarua from rain-fed agriculture to irrigation? Another question, evidence on the ground shows that dairy farmers can earn more than twice as much as crop farmers. What will you do to make this possible? Then, can you explain the government plans for uplifting agriculture and what role will Nyandarua play? Then the last one, 3 major problems you expect to face in carrying out your job should you be appointed, and how will you overcome them? Thank you.
Asante sana Mheshimiwa. Okay, the first one is post-harvest handling. Post-harvest losses contribute to about 30% of losses in production as far as produce is concerned. And it's actually a big challenge, because if we can save that 30%, we are talking of still the same thing as of increased productivity. There are various ways of countering post-harvest losses. One of them is value addition. Value addition simply means that you are making the product more appealing and you are making it last longer. That means the product will have a longer shelf life. That's one way of dealing with it. Second way of dealing with post-harvest losses is primary processing. Primary processing means things like drying, like if you have vegetables, you dry them and then preserve them. Things like canning, anything that is used to add value. For instance, let me give you an example of Shamata. Shamata is my neighbor there, and right now there are a lot of plums. And when I visited there just to see what is happening, because I like visiting places where there are excess products, there are plums all over the floor, I mean the ground, very ripe ones. But there is a lady who is making plum jam on a very small scale, just in Shamata, and able to sell to small hotels and then in Nyahururu and places like that. Those are the kind of things that we need to do to be able to deal with post-harvest losses, because those are losses. So you can imagine a bucket of plums now in Shamata is a 20-kilogram bucket is 100 shillings. Well, a 500 gram of jam, a jar of jam is 500 shillings. So that is the kind of things we need to do to deal with post-harvest handling. Similarly, we need to establish, and they are, I'm sure they are there, but we need to make more things like silos, cold storage facilities like is happening with the potatoes, coolers like is happening in the dairy industries. These are the things we need to roll out in a bigger way across our county, our great county, Nyandarua. Rain-fed agriculture. Okay, we all know about climate change. This is a topic in everyone's lips. And how we can counter these. Rains are no longer reliable. When they come in torrents and sweep away everything to the lakes and go away. So the way we need to deal with it, it's already so dry that everyone can see. Even there are fires all over the mountains. We need to harvest water. That is the biggest thing. And there are so many ways of harvesting water. From big dams like the Percy Dam, that is fortunately it is one of the national dams that are earmarked for construction. But the solution will be, that is one of the big solutions. The smaller solutions will be water pans all over. We need to have water pans. There have been plans to do that, and it works, but it doesn't work so well. We need to do further than that, because water pans, just water pans, the way they are, the water disappears very quickly. I'm a victim. I had 3 water pans. Right now they are dry. Simply because you need to put a dam liner, which is more expensive than actually doing the water pan. The dam liner is very expensive. These are the things that maybe the Catholic Church, I know, is already donating some dam liners to some institutions. So with public-private partnership, we can be able to go further than the water pans and try and do the dams, because I mean the dam liners, because they'll make the water last longer. Desilting. This is in the manifesto and everything, everywhere. There are 300 dams that need to be desilted. These need to be rolled out as soon as we get the funds, or we rope in some private partnership, public-private partnership, and desilt all those dams. I have one in my village that is called Rotara Dam that is always controversial. Things like that. If we desilt it, it will serve a lot of people. There are so many rivers around. I think there are 18 rivers. And there's a very simple way of creating a green belt along both sides of the river. There are things that are called swales or weirs. When the river is moving down, you do dams on the sides of the rivers. As the river cascades down, going towards Lake Elementaita or Lake Naivasha, you go saving water in various weirs or ponds. This water then goes to feed other waters in the interior away from the river. And this water is used to do irrigation. In that way, you create a sort of a green belt along both sides of the river. If you do a 5-kilometer green belt on both sides of the river, maybe after 5 years you'll do a 10-kilometer green belt. And this is something that is happening in other places. So those are some of the few things that can be done in water harvesting. Of course, there's the runoff water, there's Mabati water, and that is the only way we can be able to take care of our water and make sure all the water does not end up in Lake Naivasha or Lake Elementaita. Dairy farmers, dairy farmers, the question was, Mheshimiwa Kidogo, the dairy farmers, can you please ask the question again? It was a bit mouthy.
Okay. I was saying that the evidence on the ground shows that dairy farmers can earn more than twice as much as crop farmers.
Yes,
right?
That's true.
Yes. Now I wanted to know, how will you do to make this possible?
Okay, dairy farming is a very good income generating activity that it happens across Nyandarua County, but there are challenges that are on the ground. The first challenge is extension services as far as veterinary services are concerned. When I was a small boy, I used to see vehicles moving around with the AI services. Those things are no longer there. So the poor farmer has been left to quacks. They come with fake seeds, that is semen, and when that AI is done, what comes out is something that is not productive. So one of the things we need to do is to revive the AI services that are government-led, and I'm happy. I hear there is going to be a semen storage somewhere in Nyandarua very soon. I have heard His Excellency talking about that. So that is one of the things that have already been addressed, and I would like maybe to fast track it, to get high quality semen for dairy production. The other thing is fodder. We need to introduce climate smart dairy farming. We need to start growing fodder that is good for our cows. There's fodder that you will heard of pak chong, you heard of millet. They have very high, something we call good protein, which should always be above 18% if you are to realize a lot of milk. So we need to encourage farmers to grow these kind of fodder crops that are highly nutritious and diseased from probably maybe grazing around. We need to also encourage zero grazing. Kiambu County, they raise cattle in very small areas, and the production is very good. So let's treat the cow as a factory, as a manufacturer, a milk manufacturing factory. Of course, with the water harvesting and stuff like that, we don't need to take cows to the river and stuff like that. So yes, there's potential. There's a big potential for the dairy industry, and it cannot be complete without me talking about the coolers, the collection, the aggregation. Milk gets spoiled very quickly, so we need to actually do something about cooling. There's a company that is called Malaika or something. It is already introducing motorbikes that have coolers. I think you've seen it all over, but not yet in Nyandarua. They have coolers, so when they go around aggregating milk, the milk is cooled. They are mobile coolers. Those are the kind of things that we need to introduce to make dairy sector more productive. Government plans for uplifting agriculture. The role of the government. That was the question.
Yes, it was.
So, okay, the government, fortunately, there are policies that are needed in agriculture that have to come from the government. Are you talking about the county government?
No, I wanted to know what role will Nyandarua play on that one to help the government, right?
Improve agriculture.
Yes.
First of all, Nyandarua is one of the biggest water towers. It has so many water towers, so we supply a lot of water all over. So if we can harness the water towers, that's one of the good ways of making Nyandarua contributing towards agriculture, because we'll make water available to wherever it goes. Secondly, Nyandarua, if we enhance and increase productivity, we're already contributing quite a good amount of GDP to the national government through our agriculture. So if we can increase productivity in our agriculture, obviously the GDP, that our contribution to GDP, hence maybe hopefully what we get back will be much higher. So it is all intertwined. We increase our productivity, we increase our agriculture, we increase our contribution to the national government, and then we get back something in return.
Okay. Before we continue, I allow my vice chair to introduce herself, and also two members who entered.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon to you.
I'm Nirka Nyambura Mwangi, special elected member from North Kinangop. I'm vice chair of agriculture, livestock and fisheries.
Thank you. I'm Honorable Gitau, Ruben, member for Shamata, we are Prams and the Pram Jambies.
Yes, I hope you can confirm that.
Thank you. Thank you. Chair, maybe through you, would you allow me to ask the questions or you?
Before.
Okay.
Other honorable member to introduce himself. And the nominee, you can continue drinking water. You have two bottles there.
Thank you.
Continue.
Thank you.
Mr. Akaba, honorable members and staffs, my name is Peter Vinji Keriga from Lori Ward. I'm in this committee of agriculture. Thank you.
Asante.
All right. Well, thank you. Thank you so much. Welcome, members. Good afternoon once again.
Good afternoon.
It's been a long time since I introduced myself.
Yes.
Yeah, so I've really looked at your application letter, and I've also listened to you. And from what I've heard, you have rich content on agriculture. You have serious years of experience. In your letter, you've
fruits or agriculture pays. The problem with all that growing and the challenges that we've been having is obviously water and market. When it's raining, it's fine. Everyone has the fruits, like in our area, everyone has some tree tomatoes. Thanks to me, because when I noticed they're stealing my tree tomatoes, I gave out seeds everywhere to all my neighbors. So when they are ready, we all have them, and when we don't have, no one has them. So that brings in the challenge of marketing. Same case with passion fruit. There are many other fruits being grown, the traditional ones, like I mentioned about plums. There's the pears that grow in the colder regions of our county. My plan for Nyandarua, based on the challenges that I personally have, is to establish value addition. There's a company in Moiga that is producing tree tomato juice. Maybe some people have heard about it. That is where I sell my fruits, when I can't sell the excess fruits that I have. If we replicate such companies in our county, maybe you have one in Olkalau, just for fruit processing, I know it can be done very, very easily. I happen to have been involved in a startup project for mango processing in Muranga County. And although the funding was not forthcoming, but I'm the one who wrote up the program and started it off. But so I have the experience of startups of a fruit processing company, and I have all the writings, although not published. So yes, my plan for Nyandarua is if we establish a juice processing factory in one of the towns, preferably in Okalau, that will solve the problem of excess fruits because virtually all fruits you can make juice. Avocado farming is becoming a big thing, especially in the lower side of our county. In Kanjueri, I have a neighbor who has 35 acres of avocados. He's selling to Kakuzi and to Keisha. I'm selling mine to Ketia, although mine is about 4 acres. I have someone who has in Taragua. The upper part is incidentally is not very dry. He has about 40 acres of avocado. So the avocado fruit, there's a company that is called, I can't remember his name. I met them when I was working at the airport. They're encouraging people to do avocado in Nyandarua because they come into season when the other fruits in Muranga are already out of the season. So we sell them at a very good prices, and we export them at very good prices. Nyandarua also being a bit cold, there's a very big problem with Muranga called sunburn. But Nyandarua, our avocados, they are called Mofam. Our avocados don't have sunburn. So it's a very good thing for Nyandarua. And with the warming a bit of climate, if we have water, people are starting to grow avocados even in the upper regions. So yes, that one is for export. Avocado, you don't make juice, but you can add value by making things like guacamole, but you don't make juice. But export, avocado export is something that is going to be very lucrative. It's already, China is already cannot take half or even a quarter. You know, the whole world is selling to China. We've already sent about, I don't know how many containers, I think about 500 since they opened up the market for us. So that is one area that everyone can try, and it's not going to fail. It's not going to fail. So yes, there's a future for fruits in terms of exportation and in terms of processing, value addition, apart from, of course, the fresh market. Challenges in livestock production in terms of budget. Livestock production is divided into two. There is a dairy, and then there is a dairy, and then there is a meat. For the meat, I like talking about Daragwa. This is a low-hanging fruits area, because if we can establish feedlots, if I can convince the government of the day, our county government, to establish feedlots. These feedlots will buy animals. Like now, if we had feedlots, we buy animals from Laikipia and we bring them to our feedlots. I don't know where they are some. There are plans to make some feedlots in Daragua. And then we feed those animals, we buy them at throwaway prices, and when we feed them, and then we send them to KMC or we export them, because there are companies that are already exporting. They are exporting cows, you know, beef, in terms of beef, to Saudi Arabia. In fact, the first ship to dock out of this country at Lamu Port was carrying a lot of meat. Actually, it was exclusively meat. So we are able to grow, if we are able to grow foliar feed, hay and stuff like that, because in Nyandarua we can be able to do that. Then we establish feedlots, and then we feed the animals, and then we establish auctions, we'll sell them. That is a way of making money, and that is a way of convincing the government of the day that we can allocate money to establishing feedlots. That is for the beef section. For the dairy section, there are the things we talked about: establishing cold storage systems, having mobile cooling units, maybe having a cooler in every sub-county or in every ward. Why not? We have a cooler at our ward. We have a cooler which has a big capacity. If we can establish that, and then those motorbikes I was talking about that move around aggregating the milk, but they have coolers, and the coolers are solar. That's the beauty about it. And the solar, the challenge I saw is that sometimes the collection is done very early in the morning when there is no sun. So that is something we can work around. So if I make a proposal, I can make a proposal easily specifying how we can make more money if we make sure in our dairy sector there is no loss in terms of milk spoilage. Milk gets spoiled, as I said, very quickly. So yes, there is money in livestock production if only we can get a more budgetary allocation. And that is, let me add, that is across agriculture sector. The Maputo Declaration talks about 10% budgetary allocation to agriculture. None of the countries in Africa has ever done that, including our country, and that cascades down to even our counties. I think the budgetary allocation to agriculture in Nyandarua so far has been maybe 4% or 3%. So yes, this is something that needs to be done, and it's something that I can put up a proposal and convince the government of the day this is how we can make money. If only you give us a little money and we establish the things I'm talking about.
And maybe, before you continue, well at it, I know you are going to the next question.
Yes.
Yeah, well at the budgetary, remember, the people seated here, the Waheshimiwa seated here, play a very vital role in the budgetary allocation. Mine was to see how you link the executive and the assembly to come up with a budgetary allocation that is favorable for the livestock, wherever the meat mostly, and to show that these members, the honorable members here, will be reaping benefits from that budgetary allocation if they allocate money in the livestock department, because that's a challenge you'll find in Nyandarua. But anyway, I think
if they give
that's
me
a political
chance,
process, though.
Yes, I'll still appear in the bunge and explain all those things. I'm not sure about the processes that is involved, but I'm willing to go through the processes and make sure I convince all these Waheshimiwas about that allocation. I don't know the exact steps that are followed, but I'm sure I learn if I'm successful. I will show them. I will show them. Farmers getting quality seeds and quality seeds and what else? The idea behind low product, the reason behind low productivity, one of the many reasons, is poor quality seeds. And this is happening due to corruption in some of the sectors that are involved in shaping policy. For instance, you'll find a lot of quack agrovets that purport to give certified seeds, but they just harvest seeds and then paint them and then dip them in some paint and then sell and package them very nicely and sell them. We need a policy. I'm sure there are policies that are in place to ensure that we have certified seeds. All that is needed is enforcement, which comes back to our extension services. These are some of the things, if we strengthen the extension services, these are some of the things that will be in their job docket to ensure you go through all the agrovets. There are not very many. And make sure they are stocking the right, the certified. There are so many ways of verifying whether the seeds are certified. They are packaged even with nowadays with even the QR code, where you scan it on the QR code on your phone and then straight away you know whether that product is original. There are some that actually put some numbers where you scratch like a scratch card and then you call that number and they confirm. But farmers are not aware of all these things, so they need a lot of training, and that's where extension services will come in. These quality seeds, again, like potatoes, which is also a big thing for our county. There are some bodies there like Carlo who are doing certified seeds, and then there are also private bodies that are coming in that like Fresh Crop, like Agrico. All these things these companies are the ones that we need to rope in. I saw Agrico is already holding some demonstrations in the county, even Fresh Crop. Fresh Crop is also giving certified seeds at a very good price. I know the managing director is my neighbor, is called Chris Gasperi. These are the people who are doing it in big quantities. Like in Narok, Agrico, Chris has about 3,000 acres of seed multiplication farms. He's already in Nyandarua. I know there are people who have dealt with him. They are called Fresh Crops. So if these ones come in, and so many other private processors, because the government is not able to do all these multiplication, we'll increase our productivity and we'll have good, because we have good seeds. And like you'll be surprised if you use certified seeds from 20 bags per hectare, 90 kilograms bags per hectare, you can go to even 60, just because you are using certified seeds. And the goodness with certified seeds is that once you get certified seeds, they might look a bit expensive, but their life cycle is 4 years. So you don't need to buy certified seeds again. All you need to do is to control diseases until 5 years. Like we have Shangi. Shangi has been here for quite a while. Now it is, we need to phase it out. So yes, the other one was about pesticides. That's it.
I think you have adequately answered my question.
Thank you.
And I wish you all the best.
Asante.
Asante.
Before we continue, I would now my first share to have one question. Then to honorable members, honorable Gitao and honorable Liji, just one question. Time is against us.
Mr. Kungu, I want to know what are the main challenges facing agriculture in Nyandarua County and how will you address them?
Thank you very much. There are many challenges, very many challenges that facing Nyandarua County. Some of them I have already talked about, but I'm going to expound or answer, but not in very big details. 3 main challenges in Nyandarua. Low productivity. Productivity means the amount of kilograms you produce per unit area is very low. Just like I said, like in maize, you'll find someone harvesting 10 bags in an acre. That is one of the challenges. And the reason why there's that kind of challenge is farmers are not aware of the good farming practices. Another challenge is rain. Farmers depend on rain-fed agriculture, so we need to do water harvesting. Another challenge is poor seeds, like I've just explained. We need to make sure we are having high yielding and certified seeds. Another problem is low mechanization. We need to aggregate our mechanization procedures by forming farmers groups or cooperatives where we can jointly hire machines, common machines like tractors and balers and chaff cutters. Another challenge is lack of funding. We need to encourage funds like SMEs, Biashara Fund, Hustler Fund, to be able to help farmers to purchase high quality inputs. Those are the few challenges that contribute to low productivity. Another challenge, that's all the first challenge. Another challenge is value addition. Just as I explained, we need to increase our capacity for value addition by establishing cold storage, cottage industries, milk processing companies. We also need to train farmers on good manufacturing practices and good agriculture practices. And yes, those are the challenges that affect value addition. The last challenge in agriculture is marketing. That is what I said, we need to do public-private partnership and link production with marketing groups and agencies, locally and outside the country. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you, Chair. Chairman, for the short time I have just sat here, I think I would wish to confirm that this is the best mind that I have listened so far, especially coming from the Agriculture Department. I would wish to say that I've listened, and I'm sure once you get this job, we shall have the best.
Thank you.
Chairman, one of our challenges as a county is that we have been having very good mind in the Department of Agriculture, but the output has been very low. But when we did some research, we realized the problem is the budget, and Honorable Sacha have just mentioned it on livestock and all that. I've listened to you and you've talked of very many things: crop development, value addition, certified seeds, and even the fruits and all that. And if you look at the budget that we are getting as a county, we only get 2 billion for development. And out of those 2 billion, agriculture, I don't know what's the problem. Because for the members, because budget is made in the county assembly, most of the priorities goes to loads, that is infrastructure and water. And you'll end up getting some small amount of money allocated to agriculture. Now, if you look at the manifesto of the governor, who I'm sure is your friend,
yes,
he is majoring very much on agriculture.
True.
Now, how are we going to get resources so that we can move now the wheel forward in terms of achieving all this? Because I also expected you that you need to tell us how would you work with your CA, that is your CEC, the governor, to open for more resources from the national government. Because I listened the other day, the vice president, Honorable Gachagua, he is very much in the agriculture industry, especially for the Mount Kenya. Issues to do with milk, palladium, and all other products that are helping our people. So, how will you link the county government in terms of resource mobilization so that you can get more resources so that you can achieve the goal that you've just explained to us? And again, how will you prioritize? Because of course, the challenges are many in Nyandarua.
Yes.
You need to start somewhere.
Yes.
And of course, it will go with priorities. That is, what is this that is pressing us as a county? So please tell us how we will prioritize. And again, how you will help in resource mobilization so that we can get more. Because I'm sure the Department of Agriculture, the national government, they get a lot of money in terms of allocation, other department, fishing and all that. Let us hear from you that you'll be able to get more. You'll be able to push and lobby for more resources. And at the same time, what Sasha said, please also sit down with your minister. Lobby for more resources in terms of the reducible minimums that you've been talking about, so that as much as the MCA will get that million for his ward, at least 10 million or 12 million or so will go to agriculture, because that is the main backbone of our country, at the same time our county. I think that's all. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much, through the chair. Yes, that is that to be the backbone of our economy. More so, in Nyandarua, it is the biggest employer, maybe employing almost. It is underfunded. So that's why I'm saying it's a conundrum. And the situation is replicated across the country, actually. It's not just a Nyandarua problem. And it begins with policy. The policies are there. The Maputo Declaration, as I talked about, and even the declaration that came later on talks about funding of agriculture, minimum of 10% of the national budget, but this is never done, so you're very right on that. So it's upon me, it's a big challenge to be able to raise funds. First of all is to convince, together with my CEC, if I'm successful, CECM, to sit down. I have seen he's also come from the private sector, so if we join hands together with what the government can be able to supply or to offer. I have a wealth of experience and a lot of connections with the private sector, and it is my hope that I'll be able to convince. Actually, I'm convinced that I'll be able to convince His Excellency and the CEC that we need to rope in as many private sector players as possible, because that's the only way. The government has done its best. Maybe we can push it to do a little bit more. Maybe we can try and convince them to cut down on roads and stuff like that, but you also hear that everyone was talking about roads. So fortunately, in agriculture and livestock, you can be able to attract private partners more easily than probably convincing a private partner that we need to do a road in Shamata or somewhere in the village. So yes, my plan is to try and rope in. My plan is on public-private partnership, because there are so many, as I said before, maybe you came in, there are so many private enterprises that are knocking the door with funds. All they need is commitment, people who are organized, people who know what is going on, people who are willing. They want to match shilling for shilling. If you want to invest in this, how much are you putting on the table? I'll put so much on the table. I'll provide the training. I'll do the factories. We have people like SNV, Grow Africa. Those are the partners that are willing to work with us. So as for now, what I can say is that my contribution will be it will depend on how much I'll be able to convince the private partners that I've known over years. Already I'm dealing with them at a personal level, like I'm dealing with IPS-owned company. It's owned by the Aga Khan Group that is rolling out the pyrethrum growing in Kanjuri Ward and even some parts of Olkalau. So those are the kind of things that I intend to roll across together with the CEC, who is also from the private sector. I'm sure we'll be able to help Nyandarua a lot because it has a big potential as far as agriculture is concerned. That is what I can say for now. We want to rope in the private sector.
Thank you. Thank you. I think on the issue that you've mentioned on the investors,
yes,
please follow up once you get this position.
I promise I will.
And again, that will help us in reducing the issue of monopoly, whereby only a few companies have been operating, especially in the private sector, on milk. You understand?
Exactly.
Or farmers are suffering in terms of prices. Why? Only one or two people are in the market.
Yes.
Then just focus one. The issue of research that is especially on our soil and considering the issue of climate change and some crops have been doing very well in our county. At the same time, it has changed. Like in my case, that is Shamata. We used to produce potatoes in volume. Today, that has reduced. So we need to do more research on our soil and the weather and all that, so that we know what is this that can do better in such an environment.
Yes.
And the last one is on the issue of fertilizer. We understand that the national government have given at least 12 counties as a pilot program so that they can support them with fertilizer. So immediately you get a position, please follow up so that you can also be added. And if you're not added, at least we are subsidized with some more.
Yes. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mr. David. I can see your core skills and competence. One of it is you are a strategic thinker. And this is why mostly you have come to be shortlisted, because you are also a risk manager. You can manage risks. I will dwell on the question of livestock products.
Okay.
Because I'm a butcher, and I heard you mentioning about meat.
Yes.
Slaughtering.
That's true.
I hope you are also a professional to those fields. My first question is noting that Nyandarua, we doesn't have a livestock market.
That's true.
What solution will you offer to have that facility? The second one, I request you to answer the three of them together. They are not big. There are still those products from the same hides, skins, and wools. How will you ensure that we have a better market? And the last one, do you have a plan to modernize the slaughterhouses in Nyandarua, and the same to have a livestock market here in the county? Thank you.
Thank you very much. Yes, to delve on the first question immediately, the livestock market. I think before you came, we were talking about feedlots, establishing feedlots in a place like Daragwa, whereby we can buy animals, especially at this time. It's not taking advantage, it's strategic thinking. where you buy those animals and then you come and feed them, and then you link the market. I was talking about export market to Dubai and places like that. That is something we intend to pursue. There are already companies that are knocking the door, asking where there are even private companies that are already doing that. They are buying emaciated animals, they are feeding them because we have the capacity to grow a lot of hay and silage and stuff like that, and they are exporting even to Dubai. Before you came in, I said one of the first ship to exit Lamu, to dock away from Lamu port, I was carrying beef. So that is one thing about answering you about livestock. We can also establish, I think you sort of have answered that question. When you talked of market, I was talking about slaughterhouses. We need to modernize. I need to convince Waheshimiwans that we need to modernize slaughterhouses. We need to have state-of-the-art butcheries, complete with standardization. I'm an expert in that. That is something we can establish given the budget. It's also something that we can also pull across private partners to help us in putting standards for our livestock. And yes, our beef segment in Nyandarua has been lagging behind because the concentration and the funding has been on dairy. So I believe there's a lot we can do, especially in the semi-arid regions. There's a lot we can do, including maybe planting drought-resistant millets and sorghum, which are of high value, and then feeding to our cows, growing leguminous plants, and digging water, so that animals have water to drink. Those are the kind of things that I have in mind. And yes, we can improve the beef industry a lot. Hides and skins, I think that's the remaining question. We need to start. I don't know whether there's a leather industry in Nyandarua. I don't know. And that is something that we need to pursue and establish, because that is one of the key pillars of manufacturing, even in the national government. His Excellency, our President has talked about strengthening the leather industry, and we do not want Nyandarua to be left out, because that is something that is already in the national grid, and it's something that we are going to lobby as a team between me and my boss, the CEC, and even probably His Excellency, the Governor. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I wish you the best.
Asante.
Thank you.
I'd like to pass for that session. I think we are through with the question, but before we close this meeting, I would like to know your net worth.
I'm not all a lot, I'm all about 15 million Kenya shillings.
Can you explain to this committee the source?
Well, having worked for all those years, in fact, I should be worth more. But yes, it is through investments in. I have a house in Nairobi. I have a farm in Kajuri. Those are the only things. And then there is all the income I get from my job as a farmer and also as a consultant. That is where I get my income.
Finally, you have not mentioned the issue of pyrethrum. When you are young, our parents used to do pyrethrum farming, and now we do not have that crop in our. How you make it that a farmer will start farming it again?
Thank you, Chair. Well, I mentioned about pyrethrum, but very briefly. First of all, I grew pyrethrum, so I know all the basics. There are so many private companies that are coming up, and that they are already in our ward, and they are in the larger Olkalau. One is called Kentegra. The other one is called Kenya Biologics. These are private companies owned by some wazungus here and there, and they are rolling out seeds. all one needs to do is become a member through either me or the appointed authorities that are recruiting them. I'm a member, so I'm already doing 2 acres of pyrethrum. What they are doing is that they are actually doing a very good job. They are giving you the seedlings. You pay as you sell your product. Currently, they are buying their product very well. It is depending on the pyrethrin content. The minimum you can sell for a kilogram is 200 shillings. The higher the pyrethrin content, the higher the price it attracts. So what they are doing, they are giving you seedlings, and then they deduct when you start selling the products to them. They are giving you a guaranteed market. There are 3 companies already that are fighting cutthroat in our area, and those are very easy to roll across everywhere else. And yes, pyrethrum is going to become a big thing. They are offering ready market, and one of the reasons why the pyrethrum is coming to be big is because the pesticides that we are using are all carcinogenic. They are killing people. So these are natural pesticides that are very good, and that is what the future is all about. Using products that are not going to be cancerous to us. So yes, there is a big potential for Nyandarua. There are companies that are knocking the door. So far, I know one of the companies in my area has planted 6 million seedlings to roll out across Kalau County. So this is something that can be rolled across. It is no longer a punishment to go and pick flowers like it used to happen when we were small. You know, we grew up doing that. But now, pyrethrum is paying, and it's paying very well. And the market is guaranteed, and they're also doing soil testing for free, and they are providing dryers. You don't have to rely on, you know, like in June, July, when you cannot dry your pyrethrum on the outside, you use the dryers. And so that is their product. All of them are competing and providing them for free. Thank you.
Thank you. I think we are through with questions. And now I will give you David, I will give you just 1 minute. So if you have something you can add.
Well, okay. Thank you very much, honorable members, for giving me this opportunity to appear before you and probably exchange views. I'm very grateful. I have liked the environment, and it is my hope that if I go through, I'll be given a chance to actually actualize my dream of improving agriculture for Nyandarua people. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. That is all I can say. Asanteni sana.
On behalf of my committee, we thank you, and we do appreciate you for availing yourself. And I hope you are going to read approval or otherwise. And now I will allow you to have your original document, and to make sure you have all of them before you leave.
Thank you so much, Chair. I'm sure they are all here. I'm sure they are all here.
Have you confirmed?
Yes, I have. They are all there. Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Okay. I wish you the best. Now I will allow Honorable Kate. Can you, David, and you can have a cup of tea there.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Welcome.
I also want to carry this bottle of water. Am I allowed?
Allowed.
Thank you.